Hey everyone, we are at Gen Con 2019, and I'm joined by Justin from Czech Games Edition right now. Justin, how's it going?
Man, this has been awesome. It's been a great week here. It's been really busy. We have our big 3 ballrooms upstairs, and it's been full the entire time. You know, just everybody's playing games, having a lot of fun, hearing a lot of laughter, a lot of conversation. Everybody's having a blast.
So what's been the most popular game that everyone's been talking about for you guys?
By far, Letter Jam. We were really expecting some good things to come out of it, but boy, has it exceeded our expectations. Everybody from day one has been coming up and wanting to try it, wanting to play it. I heard about this online. I've been seeing it everywhere. I got to try it. I got to buy it. And people who play the game immediately come up and buy it. We've been selling out of our daily allotments every day, and it's been amazing. We're getting people coming back going, my friend bought this game. We played it last night. I need to have a copy. And it's getting a lot of really great buzz, a lot of great, everybody's just really excited about it. So I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was walking through the room a little while ago, and I saw a lot of games going on. Could you give us just a brief example or a brief overview of how the game plays?
Yeah, it's a word deduction game, cooperative. So everybody's playing together, and everybody starts with a word face down in front of them. And the goal of the game is to try and deduce what word you have in front of you. Now, you have one card facing out at a time, and you can see everybody else's cards but your own. And everyone has to come up with clues to help everyone figure out what their letters are by spelling a word from the letters that they can see. So what they do is you have these little cool numbered poker chips that look like fruit slices. They're adorable. And you spell out a word. So if you're the third word, if you're the third letter in the word, you're going to have the first letter, the second letter, you're going to have a blank for the third letter, and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, or however big the clue is. And so you have to use that to try and figure out what your particular letter in that word is. So then as soon as you know, you have a little deduction sheet that you take notes on. You make a note of that, you put that down, you put the next card up. So basically the goal is every round to have new letters out that then people can come up with new and interesting clues. And it requires everybody to kind of, think together and talk about it. You can't talk about like what you think your letters are, but trying to come up with somebody that might actually have a pretty decent clue that can spell it out without saying what that word is.
That's awesome. That does sound really interesting. One question I would have is how many players does it play, and when is it hitting retail?
Yeah, it's 2 to 6 players, so you always have six cards on the table. So if you're playing a 2-player game, you'll have 4 dummy players and so on and so forth. But I love the game as a 6-player game. It gets everybody involved. Everybody's laughing and having a great time. It's going to hit retail shelves hopefully around the end of September, and then we'll have limited copies in our first run, and then our later run, later on in October, we'll have a lot more wide accessibility to the public.
Well, a lot of the word games that I've seen are more team-based, and there's, it's always separating teams that go against each other. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting that we're seeing a cooperative environment where they can work together instead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really cool dynamic when the designer is an employee of our company in our digital department, and he came up with this really cool game that he presented to us one year, and we all absolutely fell in love with it. And it's just a really cool, unique concept that I think in a lot of word games that are out there. And one of the really cool things is that there's also being in the digital department, we're also creating an app for it where you have two choices of setup. You can either have somebody else in the group create a word for you, or you can use an app that'll actually scan the cards with the QR coding in each card and will build words for the entire team. So then nobody knows what any word is, and it's all just complete deduction from there.
Right. No, that's fantastic, and I'm glad that you mentioned the digital component because that's something I wanted to talk about. I was browsing in the room again, and I saw Galaxy Trucker. I saw some apps for Through the Ages, and I'm really liking this digital push. Can you just talk a little bit about what the team's decision is in bringing so many of these games to the digital environment and what sort of the benefits are in that regard?
Well, one cool thing about our company is a lot of us have started, even myself, but a lot of people in the digital department have started as computer programmers, have started as video gamers and stuff like that. So then when they came to work for us, naturally the progression would be we want to start to do some more digital things. We did the Alchemist app when that released, and that's a really helpful tool for that game. And then also we've been working on a Codenames app and then we decided to kind of do digital versions of some of our board games. So like the Galaxy Trucker app was the first one. and that received really wide acclamation for almost a pure digital adaptation of that board game, where you're still dragging the tiles, you're still going using adventure cards, you're still having a dice. The app will roll the dice for you, but all of the elements that people love in Galaxy Trucker were completely incorporated in the app, and that allowed us to actually go out and do new things with it. With new expansions and just different ways to play the game, where you can go on missions for people and all that. And the best thing that I love about that whole incorporation is people loved a lot of the things that we did in the digital app so much that we were able to take those elements and actually incorporate them into the physical board game with the Galaxy Trucker Missions expansion, which incorporates a lot of the things that people saw in the digital then that you can actually then do when you're playing the board game. So it's almost like a marriage between digital and the board game sides of it, of how, not only how board games affect digital, but then how digital can also affect board games.
Fantastic. No, I love that. I'm just liking that everything's coming together, and people who, have a chance to try out the game on the digital platform might even go out and grab the physical version too. So there's multiple opportunities.
And we have noticed that anytime anything new comes out with the Galaxy Trucker for the Galaxy Trucker app, our sales of the Galaxy Trucker board game actually go up. So it introduces people who may not have heard about the board game or may not even necessarily be that into board games, find this, love it, play it, they go and they buy a copy.
That's fantastic. So right now we're on the second floor. What room? We got 237. Is that where the Czech Games Edition room is? So if you are at the show, you want to check it out, definitely swing by. There's a lot of amazing games there. Justin, I wanted to thank you for your time and talking about Letter Jam and talking about the digital components. That was amazing.
Yeah, and actually one last thing I'll say is another with the Through the Ages digital game that we put out is absolutely fantastic and brilliant. People love it. We're actually doing an expansion release on September 12th that's going to have new leaders and new wonders incorporated in the board game. So it's going to be nice, $4.99, very easy to pick up on your tablet or iPhone or Android or anything like that. So keep an eye out for that, and we're really excited about its upcoming release.
That's fantastic. So, people who aren't at the show, definitely check out the digital apps that they have and what new games you can try from it. Justin, thank you for your time. This was fantastic.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming by.